Hi everyone, and we're back in 2026 for a special podcast. This is the best anime of 2025, and this is episode 189. I'm your host Mario, and here with me, as always, is Wooper.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Happy New Year.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. I think 2025, personally, I think it's a pretty good year. So I have no problem of filling up my top 10.
Hmm.
Wooper, how do you feel about 2025?
Well, that makes one of us. I thought it was fine. Most years in anime, I think are just fine. Um, I remember last year I put in 20 when we did our best of 2024, I put something on my list in the 10 spot that I didn't particularly care for.
Right.
Um, this year, I would say the number 10 series I liked, but there were issues with it. So on the whole, maybe a little
Mm,
better. If like a potential way of judging a year in anime is what's the
right.
strength of like can you fill out a top 10 list and feel good about every single entry?
Mm,
I guess I do,
right.
but we're not talking 2021
Right.
levels of goodness here. It was an okay year.
Hmm. Interesting. Is there any trend that you think is popular in this year?
Um, I don't know. Are you asking
I
me
do
that
have one.
question because you already have the answer?
I do have one that I feel it's not particular this year. I think it's also very popular for the last few years, and this is the post-apocalyptic themes. Like there's a lot of show that set in the post-apocalyptic world where like just a wasteland and just like we are the only human or there's no human left. So I think it might be reflecting like the current world, like their worry.
Yeah,
I
people's
don't know.
fears could be. I mean, what are some examples? Of course, there's Apocalypse Hotel, which has apocalypse in the name. I can also
Yeah,
think of Sanda,
yeah,
which is, I guess it's set in the post-apocalypse. We don't know much about the outside world, but
right.
climate change is like wreaking havoc on the earth.
And then there
Uh,
is touring after the apocalypse,
oh, okay.
and and there is another show that also just airing the last season as well. Original show Dust Beyond the World End, I think.
I recognize that localized title, but I can't picture the poster. Um,
Right,
so I
right.
know that show exists, but I don't remember what it's all about.
Yeah, Dust Beyond the End of the World. This is the original show, and I think from PA Work, and I believe
Oh,
it's
Towa no Yugure. Yes.
that's the one. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I watched the first like 4 episodes of that and dropped it so hard.
yeah. Me too. So it's not gonna be on our top 10 list, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to name a few.
Okay. Yeah. I think post-apocalyptic anime have always been pretty popular. Like thinking back to the 2000s, since we just
Right,
did our top 50 anime of the 2000s for Starcross, the blog we write
right.
for. Even back then, there were post-apocalyptic shows, Ergo Proxy, Technolize, series
Mm,
like that. Evangelion was set in the post-apocalypse.
yeah,
Um, so anime has always been into that sort of thing, I guess.
yeah. I guess so. And I remember like last year they have like the train at the end of the world,
Hmm.
and then in 2022 they have Heavenly Delusions. So
Yep.
like all of that.
Right. It's probably nice for writers to set things in the post-apocalypse because then they don't have to worry so much about how the universe that they've created interacts with the larger Earth.
That makes
But of
sense.
course, it can they that sort of thing can also, as you said, reflect people's concerns about the direction of the real world,
Yeah.
how where we're
There's
headed as a species.
yeah. There are also a lot of reboot as well from like popular anime from the 80s, 90s,
That's
like
definitely been
Rama,
a trend recently. Yeah.
yeah, Rama Half. Oh God, like yeah, just a lot. So or even and of the Green Gables.
Yeah. I mean that's not exactly a reboot of a manga or anime
Right.
property, but the original 1979 Anne of Green Gables series, which we covered this year on the podcast
Yeah.
in a series of standalone episodes called the Anne Cast.
Hmm.
That is such a like foundational anime, I think, in the minds of Japanese. Well, let's maybe not in the minds of Japanese people as a whole, but certainly in terms of people who like grew up watching anime
I
and
agree.
carried that interest into their adulthood. It kind of has become like a representative work of animation in the minds
Hmm.
of Japanese fans, I guess, and perhaps creatives as well.
I would say even to my mind, like it just a very good work. Like it deserves to be, more recognized you know, by the audience today because it's just that good.
Yeah, well, I suppose that it getting a reboot is a
Yeah,
form of recognition, even though in some people's minds, I'm sure, perhaps younger viewers, this new version might take the place of the old one.
yeah. I would say one thing that show is the one that I kind of miss it. Like it for obvious reason that we just did the Antcast, so I don't want to head into this one just now.
Yeah.
So I want to let it sleep for so just for just another few years until I wanted to get back to the material. But this is the only one show that I think if I had give it a chance, it might crack the top 10 for me.
Yeah, I had a similar feeling. I mean, I only watched well, I actually watched more than 3 episodes of it, I think. I gave it a
Right.
few more before deciding to lay off. But
Hmm.
in general, I like to the sort of anime that I like is the sort of anime that I think is good. In my mind, there's not much of a distinction. So
Hmm.
not watching Anne
Hmm.
Shirley was kind of a departure from the way that I typically pick and choose what to watch because I could
Hmm.
recognize this is a solid show. The
Hmm.
production isn't exactly it doesn't look or move exactly the way that I want it to, the way that Takahata's did, but
Hmm.
the characters are great, the story's great, the visuals are good enough. Um, this is a this is a this is a top 10 level show perhaps, as you said, and I
Right.
still did not like pursue it. I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably go back to it. It might be nice to read the initial three and novels before doing so.
Wow. Right. Three. I thought there was only two, but well.
No, there are three. There's Anne of Green Gables, and then there's man, I don't know. One of them is Anne of Avonlea, the name of the
Right. Yeah. The
town where
town.
she lives, and then there's a third one. I can't remember what it is.
Hmm.
But yeah, there are three, and apparently the Anne Shirley adaptation from this year covers the material from all three.
Right. In terms of movies, have you watched any movie out of this year?
Yeah, so
Because I
that's the
haven't
thing.
had
I
this.
can't say whether this was like a great or
Right.
not so great year for anime until I catch up on like I haven't seen Hyakuemu, I haven't seen the Chainsaw Man movie, I haven't seen
Right.
the Lupin the third movie,
Yeah.
Zenigata and the two Lupins. I have like all these movies I was really looking forward to and I haven't seen them yet. I've
Right.
got them all
Yeah.
downloaded.
Yeah. 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 Same. So yeah, I can feel the pain of not watching them, but I think it's just for another podcast first.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that as well. That it might be a subject of a discussion that the two of us have, and I might want to save them for that. Or, we were going to do our a separate anime of the year thing for Starcrossed probably
Hmm.
next month ish, and I might watch them then because there's a best movie category for that.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Are you ready to go for the tens? Actually, do you have any honorable mentions? I have one.
I have two. Yes.
All right. So I think you can start first then.
Okay. Well, in past years, I've always avoided choosing a series as an honorable mention. I typically like to shout out short
Yeah.
films or theatrical films or music videos or whatever. But this time I
Right.
actually do have a series that I want to shout out as an honorable mention, and that is the second season of My Dress Up Darling.
Right. Hmm.
This was a show that I didn't watch in 2022. I was like, nah, this has way too much fan service, and I'm just not into this.
Yeah.
I recently watched the whole first season and decided to move on to the second.
Wow.
And the main thing that I want to praise about the second season is the character animation. It is some of the best I have ever seen in a TV series. Like,
Hmm.
of course, it was already good in the first season, but the level of improvement between the two is staggering. It's amazing. I would suggest that anybody, regardless of your interests in the show, watch the first episode of the second season of My Dress Up Darling, and just like bask in how good it looks whenever the characters do anything. Like it could be they could walk through a hallway and like turn a corner, or they could do something as simple as swiping back and forth on a phone screen using just their thumb. And it's an incredible achievement. It looks so lifelike. Um, there's other good aspects of the show as well, like the different series that they cosplay characters from are all
Hmm.
parodies of very recognizable shows like Madoka Magica, Idolmaster, Ouran High School Host Club, etc. You can tell what they're parodying by making their own unique, like in-universe works
Hmm.
that they then cosplay characters from. And they, in the second season, they actually they create and animate clips of the parodies. Uh, so the show gets to experiment with different art styles and character design styles. Those are really cool. There's a nice episode where Gojo takes care of Marin while she's sick in bed. It's very sweet.
Yeah.
And there's another episode where she misinterprets something that he says, and she thinks that they're gonna have sex. Like he's
Oh.
planning on like sleeping with her that night, and the look into her head, like how nervous she is about it, but also how excited she is about it, is something you don't often see in anime. Anime tends to be kind of sexless, um, but the way that the show handled that subplot, I thought was very interesting. But of course, there are a bunch of problems as well, like narrative problems, tonal problems, things that I didn't like about the show. So it didn't make the top 10, but I wanted to mention it, especially for the animation.
Hmm. Interesting. I could never get past the after the episode two of the first seasons. Like I tried to watch it twice and it just turned me off every time. But
Yeah.
yep, I might give it another chance.
I would, yeah, like I said, I would just suggest watch the first episode of the second season, and
Hmm.
just for the visuals alone. I mean, the story of that episode is nice, but it
Hmm.
really is worth witnessing.
Right. Very interesting. Good pick.
What have you got for your honorable mention?
All right, my honorable mention would typically be number 11 shows.
Yeah.
So very different approach from Wooper. So my number 11 honorable mention would be the show that we just mentioned earlier, Touring After the Apocalypse.
Aha. Okay, so I got it. I picked this to be one of your honorable mentions,
Oh, really?
and
Wow.
not put it on the top 10. Yeah. On track so
Wow.
far.
You you might be 11 out 11 this time.
Yeah, tell me
Uh,
about it because I only watched the first episode of this.
all right. So it's about if you watch the first episode, you it actually kind of say the whole series to you. So it's about two girls who tour Japan, where they are seemingly like the only person on Earth. Actually, there is one person and one android, but you get the gist. So like in each episode, they go to different attraction and they enjoy their time. They meet some of them. They meet a few, like kind of like out of date robots. So
Okay.
like Some of them they haven't been function for a while. Some of them has still function, just like just like the robots from the Apocalypse Hotel.
Yeah, I was just thinking
And
that.
yeah, I've got a chance to meet them, and the main girls who actually have a flashback of like when there's still people in that area. So this is actually a really uh, chill show. Sometimes some episodes are really ambitious. On the other hand, like there is an episode later in the show where they are contacted by the alien.
Hmm.
So it's still another like cute girl doing cute thing, but there are also many questions that the show isn't interested in answer. So the last episode kind of like go to the prequel, like the talking about the girls' condition when they live in the shed before they got out. But yeah, there are some question about like why the main girls um uh, can imagine or can dream of like the world before. They don't answer that. They don't also answer about like why the world is the way it is now, which I actually kind of prefer. So it's a really good show. It actually a little bit plain for me. So like for now when I think of this episode, I cannot tell one from each other, just because how kind of like how similar the way it feel in every episode. But there are some strong episode here and there. So yeah, it sit there at my honorable
Number
mention
11 spot.
for you. Yep, correct.
Okay. Yeah, I remember when we did the first impressions episode, fall first impressions, right? Did this just finish
Yep,
airing?
yep.
Okay. Yeah, I remember not liking the color grading very much
Right.
in the animation and stuff, but of course it's an interesting premise. We already both of us I think are fans of Girls Last Tour. Perhaps it's not like a
Hmm.
one of our absolute favorite series, but it's a good show with an interesting hook, and this one has something similar. So maybe something
Yep.
I'll come back around to in the future before the end of the
Yep.
decade. Another one of those shows that you let sit for a while.
Hmm.
Okay.
All right. What's your second one, Wooper?
Yeah. So now we're gonna go back to not listing TV series.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I want I for my two honorable mentions this year, I wanted to do two like short films, but the other one that I was counting on, I didn't actually enjoy very much. So I
Right.
had to
Yep.
throw my Dress Up Darling season two on the list. As for
Yep.
my other honorable mention, it is the ninth episode of Star Wars Visions Volume 3, and that would be Black.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's directed by Shinya Ohira, who is my favorite Japanese animator ever. He
Mm.
has he whenever he directs something, and he rarely does. He's usually like a pencil for hire, so to speak, and contributes
Mm.
to like Ghibli films. And he did a kind of strange sequence in the first episode of Pluto recently as well. Um, so he's not often a director, but he directed this short, and he really loves fully animated backgrounds. So
Mm-hmm.
not characters animated on top of static or 3D backgrounds, but fully animated. And this short is indeed fully animated. It's wild. Um,
Wow.
so another selection, I guess, mostly based on visual strength. But I do like the short as a whole. I really like the soundtrack. It's very jazzy, but it shifts between different kinds of jazz. Because the story of it, it's 12 minutes long. The story of it is kind of an exploration of the memories and the kind of decaying mind state of a stormtrooper in the Star Wars universe,
Mm.
whose like psyche has been completely wrecked by the battles that he's been in, the combat and the horrors that he's seen. And so the presentation kind of shifts between his internal mental state, where he's fighting against another character who looks like a very similar version of him, and he's
Mm,
also fleeing from like a giant monster that you only ever see the feet of, like gigantic claws.
mm,
It shifts between those sorts of interior scenes with like real, or not real world locations, but established locations in the Star Wars universe, like Hoth, the snow planet, where they fight the walkers, if you remember that scene from Star Wars, or and the Death Stars as well. Like the scenes of the Death Stars like melting down and exploding, and people being caught in those explosions and like being burned alive and stuff. Um, so the soundtrack, the jazz soundtrack, kind of shifts between a more like jazz fusion approach, which is a little smoother and has like some rock influence in it, and then it moves between that and also free jazz, where saxophones and other brass instruments. I don't think the saxophone is actually technically a brass instrument. I think it's like a woodwind. But anyway,
mm,
where all the horn instruments are just like blaring and going crazy on insanely technical solos, and all the while there's so much like fire and blood and like laser blasts being exchanged between warring parties, and it's like psychedelic, and it's crazy, and it's amazing. It's I would say that it's Ohira's vision of like the line between life and death,
mm.
mentally speaking, and definitely the highlight of this new third volume of Star Wars Visions, which released this year.
Right. And did you say it's like an episode length, so like 20 minutes?
12 minutes.
Wow. They did all that in 12 minutes. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's I mean it's very the direction is very free flowing. It moves like in and out of quote unquote reality and the guy's own like delusions, um,
Mm,
to the point where they're kind of blended together at certain points. Ohira's a pretty abstract artist.
mhm. Oh, very nice. I haven't watched any of these Star Wars vision shows, and I'm not really that familiar to with Star Wars to begin with. To like trying to watch more of this, but you know, I
I
heard a
think
lot of good
Black is the
things.
I've only seen volumes 1 and 3. Those are the ones that were done
Right,
by Japanese animation houses.
I
And
see.
Black is the best episode out of those 18 combined uh, shorts by
Mm,
far. It's not even
right,
close. So if you are interested in Star Wars Visions, you can just watch Black, and then you'll
right,
have seen the best of it.
very
Not
nice.
everybody will agree, of course. Black is pretty artsy, but
Mm.
I liked it a lot.
Well, yeah. All right. Shall we get to number 10?
Yeah, the top 10. Here we go.
All right. I think my 10 is the one that gonna be appear in Wooper list, maybe. uh, and that one is Leviathan.
Okay.
So yep, I think we talked about it briefly before. It's based on the Western young adult novels, and from what I understand, the show had to adapt like three books materials into this single season of anime.
Yeah.
So that's a lot. Uh, I really enjoy the story at first. So there's so much to like the unique CGI aesthetic from the Orbi Studio, which I always a fan. The alternative World War One war, where the war split between the clankers and the Darwinists. So one of them is more about machine, and one of them is more about like using animal as a weapons. I think it's a very cool idea, and the way that is merged them together, like from these two main characters, like Dylan from one end and Alex from the other end, and they try to understand this, try to make a full use of that. It's actually very engrossing. So I really like the story. I was sucked into that until the last third, where it sadly, like pulled me a bit away. Like, namely the relationship between these two main characters. So, like up until episode 9 or 10, they the one of the character Alex just keep hanging over the fact that his friend is Dylan is a girl, and he been hanging over about the fact that why she doesn't tell him about that. Are they not friends? And it just feels so, oh, it just feels so dirty in that way, like
I mean, the novels
from
are from the 2000s, I think.
yeah, well, so from that point on, I actually, like every single decision of Alice just irked me in the wrong way. And by the end of it, now I'm looking back, I didn't really like that character that much. I think I also say that when we watch the first episodes is that I really enjoy Dylan or Darrow's side of the story more than Alice. And
Yep.
I think this is a kind of character that's actually bring the whole show down. So it was a lot higher on my list. The more I think about that, the more I put it down. So
Hmm.
it sit there comfortably at my number 10.
Okay. All right. Shall I leave it a secret whether it's on my list or not? Is that how
All
we
right.
want to? Is that
Yeah,
the
yeah.
way that we ought to approach it, or what do you think?
Let's do that. If you don't include this, like at the end, you can just say a few lines about this,
Okay.
about the show, if you
Sure.
want.
I guess you could do the same for my selections as well. Although
All right.
there's some stuff on my list that I know you haven't seen,
Yeah. Cool.
um, including
All right.
perhaps my pick for number 10, which
All
is
right.
Wandance.
Wow. All right.
So
Have a
this
seat.
most people will know this show for the clips of the 3D dancing animation, which made the rounds on social media, I think.
Right.
Um, it does not look super good.
No. Yeah.
But even taking that into consideration, I did enjoy this show. Not
Mm.
every episode, but most of them. It had a strong conclusion. I just finished watching episode 12 like an hour before we sat down to record this podcast.
Right.
Um, and it's the semifinals of a dance battle where the main character loses, and despite having thought during the whole competition that he would be like okay with getting eliminated, it wasn't a particularly big deal. He actually has a strong like emotional reaction to being to losing in the semis,
Yeah.
and then he comes out of that and realizes that his motivation for entering the contest in the first place was like it's okay to be competitive, and he recognizes that about himself that he's a competitive person. But his reason for entering in the first place was not. Um, he doesn't feel the same way now that he's been through the experience of going through the dance battle and everything. So all of that
Mm.
being all of that is to say that I like the show's character work in general,
Mm.
even if the work that the characters do on the dance floor looks a little goofy from time to time. I did feel myself kind of growing accustomed to it, and even learning based on those 3D dance scenes, the different kinds of styles that different characters in the show use. Like there's hip hop dancing, there's house, there's breaking, there's popping. Like if you can picture popping and locking, do you know what that looks like when someone dances, like pops and
Mm.
locks?
Yep. Yep. Go on.
Yeah,
I don't
there's
know,
a
but
there's a
go on.
character whose specialty is popping and locking, and the show kind of
Right.
goes over what each of those like how each of those different styles are incorporated into the story, but it doesn't belabor the point. Like it just lets the presentation of those dances inform your your it educates you visually, I guess, about each
Yep.
of those styles.
Yep. Yep.
Um, so I really liked that decision. That's the kind of storytelling that I prefer, is to let the visuals handle as much of the load as possible. Um, at least some of the time, I guess. I prefer it that way. I like the fact that the main character, has that stutter. There are a lot of
Right.
anime with socially
Mm.
anxious characters, protagonists.
Mm.
Wandance is one of the better ones, I think. The main character is like so tall and ends up being such a gifted dancer that he
Mm.
doesn't look like the typical kind of like shy, nervous, withdrawn, and kind of physically small um,
Mm.
anxious character that you see in other anime series. So it kind of gives credence to the fact that he does have struggle with that issue because even though he doesn't look like it, anybody can suffer from that sort of thing. And he,
yeah,
the way that he makes friends and comes up with like little strategies in order to um, like communicate what he wants to say, even when he's stuttering. That was nice
yeah.
to watch over the course of the season. Also, really like his relationship with the female lead, Wanda, who is like somebody who he's attracted to, but also someone who inspires him and that he competes against. That dynamic I thought was very nice, well handled. So that's my number 10 pick.
Did you say that they compete against each other, or they are on the same team?
They are on the same team when it's like high school versus high school, but then when it gets to the dance battle, she doesn't compete
Right,
against him directly, but they both enter, and they could have been
right,
matched against each other.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he more is like comparing himself mentally to her. He kind of quote unquote competes against her that way.
Cool. Yep. Yep. I have one done on my list, but yep, couldn't make time for that, so that's all right. Now come to my number
Maybe,
nine.
yeah, maybe someday if you can get past the character's dead expressions as they
Well,
bust a move.
well, yeah, well, I remember that we watched the first episode, and I kind of like it as well. I see what people are saying about the CG dance, but I personally don't have the issue with that.
All right.
So, all right, let's go with my number nine, and this is the only one that I think you might not guess on my list, or I would also say that you might not have watched it. This is Flower and Asura, or we or they also call Hanashura.
Okay. I
So
watched
it
8 episodes of this.
Oh wow, eight, and then you drop.
Yep.
Only four more. Come on. All right. It's from the author that wrote Cell Euphonium. So we have another high school story about the power of sound. This time it's about like reciting or broadcasting. So I just love this unique subject matter. But the cast is also the main power of the show, as they set different approach to like to doing the broadcast, and we learn more about them as we go as well. It's about the act of reciting the lines that flow very well and intriguing the listener mind. Not being a Japanese native, it's a shame that like we don't feel the same impact as like the Japanese people. But I also feel that the cast backs up each other very well. We have like many episodes that dedicated to each member and how like their personal issues and how they approach the craft. One crime that I feel about this series is that like all the things that we see is just the beginning.
Mm,
I suspect that more seasons are about to come, but there's nothing has been official yet.
okay. I with regards to each episode being about like different a different character and
Right,
their personal history and their approach to recitation and stuff like that. I remember an episode about the straight A student or whatever with the glasses
right, yeah,
and how his parents expected him to become a doctor and he was kind of keeping secret
yeah,
the fact that he was in a club or maybe just not broadcasting it, no pun intended.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and yeah, I remember that, and I remember the show kind of diving into the redheaded guy, who's always bickering with the redheaded girl, like the fact that
right,
he's not interested in reciting, but he really likes like audio production, and he wants to change the music for the short film that they create and stuff like that. It's yeah,
right,
it's an interesting show. I just I started getting tired of it, and with each passing episode, I got more and more tired of it.
right,
So
right.
I didn't finish it. Um,
Right.
but
The
it's
the
just
last
on me.
thread, yeah, the last thread of these four episodes that you left is about them going to like doing the
Nationals.
training, no training with other schools. before
Hmm.
the national, so they haven't go into the national,
Oh,
for the for these 12 episodes, and then it's deal with the president's old issues. So yeah, mm,
the president? You mean the blonde girl?
the blonde girl, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That kind of makes sense. I mean, she's like the super cheerful character, and then of course you're expecting that the show is going to be like, oh, we're going to peel back a layer, and what's she dealing with?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, maybe I'll finish it. It's true that there are only 4 episodes left to go. Maybe someday I'll finish it, but it just didn't really speak to
So
me, I guess, even though the show is all about speaking.
yeah, well, I guess yeah, I approach the show a bit different than Wooper. I am just talking to the listeners now. When I make a hard decision when I get to episode 6, because if I decided to go after the episode 6, I gonna just finish the rest. So
Right.
I'm not gonna stop in like episode 8 or 9 because they're only just like 3 or 4 episodes.
That's totally normal. I think most people probably share that idea. But I at a certain point, I don't know when it was, but at a certain point when I was like, watching a whole bunch of anime and trying to go year by year and keeping a list of everything and all that,
Yeah,
there was a
yeah,
certain point where I was just like, okay, I've seen so much anime, so much of it has like kind of tired me out that whenever I want to drop something at any time, I'm just gonna do it.
yeah,
That's my philosophy, I suppose.
yeah. No, I think yours is more organic and actually make a lot more sense. Like if you don't feel like watching it at any point, you should stop. I just if I already spent like that much time on the show, I just gotta spend the rest just to finish it.
All right, on to my number 9.
Yep, shall we?
My number 9 is Panty and Stocking season 2.
Right.
Now I have my great big Word doc in front of me with a whole bunch of notes, many of which were copy and pasted over from other Word documents. So
Right.
we covered Panty and Stocking as part of the summer season, I think.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and I took copious notes on every episode, even though this is a show that really maybe doesn't, engender that sort of approach. Maybe that's not the right verb. Um, so I don't really know what to say about Panty. Like I don't have strong feelings, I guess, or strong memories of what exactly I can say about it that I appreciated so much. I mean, it's just more of the same, I suppose,
Mhm.
um, from season 1. There are lots of pop cultural parodies, and of
Hmm.
course, the show kind of goes big picture towards the end with the whole story. I think like a 2 episode arc, or maybe 3, probably just a 2 episode arc about um, the main characters going up to heaven and trying to recover one of their friends who's been stolen. Is it Panty and Stocking who get frozen up in heaven and they have to go rescue them? Or
I think so. Now, when you mentioned that, it just escaped my mind.
yeah,
But
me
I think
too.
so. Yeah.
I mean, the to be honest, the whatever overarching story this series slapped together towards the end is not the part of the season, this second season, that I was most you know wild
Yep.
about. I more so appreciate the parodies that the show does and just its extreme crudeness and the fast paced animation and comedy of it, and also the English dub because this is one of the
Hmm.
few shows that I watch dubbed. I do remember. I guess one thing I can share is that I really loved episode 4. I thought it was one of the better, perhaps the best comedy anime episode of the year. And in Penny and Stocking, episodes are divided up into smaller stories, as is typical for like American cartoons, for example.
Hmm.
The 3 stories in episode 4 were President Business. Um, like Panty has sex without a license, and so she's convicted based on a new law that the president of Dotton City has passed, where you need to have a license in order to have sex, and he's all about business. Like he says business over and over. That's his catchphrase. And then eventually it's revealed that he's a fornicator himself. And I thought the sense of irony in that episode was quite strong. There was also a section where Panty takes in a ghost cat, and cares for it, even though she could just kill it with her magical gun and get like heaven coins. Um, she opts to take care of the animal instead. There's kind of like a touching quality to that segment. And then there's the what I view as like the centerpiece of all of season 2, which is that extended Fantastic Four parody that kind of recreates the clunky 60s animation of the Fantastic Four cartoon. Do you remember this at all?
I do.
Yeah, I was tickled by that episode, even though I'm not a fan of like retro American animation. I recognized the style right away, and I just thought it was very cool that some of the people making this second season of this cartoon from overseas knew about this sort of thing and loved it enough to want to parody it. I just very interesting crossover, a cultural crossover there.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, this was more panty and stocking. That can't be a bad thing, at least not in my mind. Not every episode was great, not every segment was great, but there were enough good ones that I wanted to put it here on my list.
Hmm. All right. I might have put this one. Might or might not put this one on my list. So we will see on that one.
Okay.
My number eight is another show, kind of similar. That's air on the same season as well, and it's City the Animation.
You put City the animation all the way down at number 8?
All the way down.
I can't believe it. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna spoil right now. I had this as your number 1.
All right. Uh, I actually it's funny because when I watch City the Animation, I come to a realization that maybe literature shows, which I always regard as like the funniest anime ever, isn't that isn't that funny? So like I really thought about like all of these kids based comedy because like it's a bit hit and miss between all the skits. Some of them are really random, like
Yep.
have you watched all of them? So I can just spoil a little bit.
Are you talking about
Uh,
City?
CD the animation.
I saw 5 episodes of it, but you feel free to talk about whatever part of the show you want. It's fine.
All right. So the one about the mangaka and his manager, I always feel that is right. And just a design like the old man who resemble like one of Osamu Tezuka characters. I think he's supposed to be a scientist or something. And yeah, it just doesn't look good on my book. But on the skit are really inspiring. So like there's one episode where they about the tower that just like that just right out of nowhere,
Yep.
and the screen is split into like multiple panels with different characters just like doing their things all simultaneously. I love that so much. So it just like it just a lot of just a hit and miss in like in the series. They provide a little bit of continuity, which I like, and the animation is also very dynamic. It really nails the comedic timing. So we have like some touching skit as well. So like the two high school girl were their friend, and one of them had to go to England uh, just just for a holiday, but they just like they really have to say goodbye to each other. So they do all the things that like look fun at first, but actually very touching. So like they nail a lot of wide range of emotion in the shows. I'm
Hmm.
happy for it to stay at my number eight only.
Okay. Yes, I do remember the tower episode. That was episode 5.
Right,
I was completely overwhelmed by that episode. I was like, "What am I watching? This is crazy."
I love it.
Um, certainly, it will go down in history. I think, in
Right.
like the history of comedy anime, as being just so animation intensive and so ambitious, I guess, in tracking all those characters. until they eventually converge. I think there's like a cookout or a potluck or something on the grounds outside the tower at the end, if I remember correctly. And all the characters had been headed there all along, so they eventually come back together
Mhm.
after being
Yeah.
separated in different corners of the screen. Um, yeah, that was a crazy episode. The the visuals amazing. You know, perhaps the best animated show of the year.
Right.
Um, and a lot of synergy between the characters and the backgrounds as well. I mean, they're drawn in exactly the same style, so
Right.
that
Oh,
a much different look from Nichijou. I'll say that.
yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention they have a very killer OPs and ED as well. So
True,
you know,
true.
nail it.
Yeah. All right, my number
Right.
8.
Yep.
It's back for the third year in a row. It is Hyakushou
Ooh.
Kizoku Season 3. The
What?
continuing
Hmm.
adventures of Hiromu Arakawa's autobiographical manga about farm life.
Right.
And season 4 has been confirmed for next year, so it may be back in our top 10 of 2026 list, but perhaps not. I think 2026 is going to be a good year for anime, but more on that later.
Right.
As for this third season of Hyakushou Kizoku, um, I just think it's like edutainment at its best. You know, there are episodes about, of course, there have been lots of episodes about pigs and cows and livestock that you know raise on farms. But there was an episode about animals that not like non-livestock animals on farms, like dogs and pets that you keep, and the challenge of caring for them when you're also caring for other animals, which had lots of super cute dog animation with their tails like wagging really fast. And there were episodes about things as obscure as like baling hay, wrapping hay
Huh.
up into those little kind of cylinder looking things that
Right.
you sometimes see sitting out on farms, and you have to do it in a particular way that
Uh,
eliminates moisture so that they don't spontaneously combust as a result of
wow.
like fermentation in the bale. And there's an episode about agricultural theft, people stealing stuff from farms, and how you might prevent that, and how some people don't even realize it's stealing, and the ones that do don't even care. They just will just steal, and even if you confront them to their face, they just like take it and leave. Um, and how frustrating that was for Arakawa, and how frustrated she saw her parents get when she was growing up on a farm. Uh, there were lots of there you know there the topics are seemingly endless,
Hmm.
as evidenced by the fact that there have been so many seasons and there are going to be more. There were some standout episodes as well. There was one about romance on like between farming families or women who like want to marry farmers, and the sorts of crazy things that happen at farm weddings. Not weddings that happen at farms, but like weddings between farmers. Like for example, that the bouquet toss, when the bride typically throws the bouquet of flowers, there's a tradition that it'll be a bouquet of vegetables instead that are like picked from the farm that morning, the morning of the wedding. There's also the last episode, episode 12, is an isekai parody where
Hmm.
Arakawa wakes up in another world and using her knowledge of farming is able to like produce potatoes at a massive scale in this fantasy world. But the twist is what makes the episode so funny is that there had been a food shortage in this kingdom. So when she is able to like cultivate potatoes so rapidly, it actually gives all the villagers, all the commoners, the strength through the consumption of potatoes to overthrow the government, which had been oppressing them. So that's the twist. And then she is like she lives at the castle. So when they overthrow the monarchy, she dies when they set the castle on fire. And when she dies in the isekai world, she wakes back up in the real world. Uh, and the episodes are only 5 minutes long, so all this happens like at a super rapid pace. and it was just it was very very funny. Um, so another year of the Noble Farmer back again on
Wow.
my list.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like, yeah, there are a few points that I want to make on this one. Uh, Potato, like they growing potato in the other world. It's just kind of like remind me of the movie uh about a guy, Matt Damon, who
The
stranded
Martian,
in the Martian. Yeah, and then he have to grow potato.
right? It's
Very
like the
nice.
number. Apparently, it's like the number one crop. If you can only grow one thing and you want to like sustain yourself, potatoes are
Right.
the way to go.
Yeah. And I always wonder how they, like how they roll in the hay. So this is kind of really educative. And yeah, I think this is just a show that, you know, it's someone who grew up with it can know about that. So it really, really kind of inspiring and also very education in that way as well.
Yeah, it's fun too. It's there are some episodes that are mostly educational, but there's always jokes and fun little bits of animation, and it's not a slideshow at all. Some anime shorts are very static, but
Mm,
even though I wouldn't say this show has like a lot of sakuga to it, it's always moving. That's part of the humor.
yeah. And the last thing I want to mention is that she have a new shows that that's going to be adapted next year. So
That's right. At
yeah,
Bones, just like Full Metal Alchemist was.
wow, yeah, we talk about that later on when we get into the 2026 both anticipated shows.
All right. How about your number seven?
All right, let's go to my number seven. This is the show that we talked already in our podcast when we ended one of the seasons, and you expressed a little bit disappointment of the ending.
I know what it
Uh,
is, just from you having
all
said
right,
that.
all right. I think we have quite a few shows that you said that you said you disappointed with the ending.
But I know
This
this is
one,
Kowloon generic romance, right?
no, it's Zenshuu.
Oh, whoops.
Yep.
You got me.
Yep. So that's one is Zetsu, the kind of like reverse isekai that everyone talking about. And now like I think back about that about this show. I think like the ending kind of makes sense to me. Um, I still really like the concept, the main concept. This girl from the real life who transported into the movie that she loves as a child. There's a lot of like meta comment on the story tropes. The main girl herself is refreshing in a way that she like she kind of think like us, like a bit of nerdy as well. The romance itself don't work too well in this show. I still think that they much better have not having any romantic interest between like the main characters and the
And
hero and
Luke.
her. Yeah, Luke. Uh, yeah. Uh, I still think it's a solid ending, and there's a hint that they might meet together in the future, with also saying that it might have like a new season, which I actually not looking forward to.
Not looking
Uh,
forward to?
I think it best it ends right here the way it is. It's a labor of love for anime and the craft they put in, so I can feel the love of them for the anime, for the act of like creating characters and for these characters as well. So yeah, Genshu is my number seven.
Very interesting. I'll
Ha.
tell you, of the four
Yeah.
shows that you've listed so far, I didn't
Right.
predict that City is the only one that I've gotten right.
All right. Wow.
So
Hmm.
you're full of surprises this year.
Oh wow. I kind of think like the opposite way, but all right.
Zenshuu. Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay. I mean, when I think there are some shows from this year that when I think back on them, I remember, as you said, there were a bunch of shows this year where I was disappointed with the ending.
Right.
Um, as as evidenced by my incorrect prediction about generic romance.
Yeah.
But when there are a couple shows that when I think back about them, One of them is Zenshuu, and the other one is Lazarus.
Right.
Um, I think back on those shows. I think back about like that the endings were disappointing and that there was like some inconsistency perhaps throughout the those series runs. But I think my overall experience with them, at least in my memory, is somewhat positive.
Right.
Um, yeah, Zenshu, like I enjoy the fact that it was like a stealth isekai, I guess. I mean,
Mm.
there's not really anything stealthy about it, but it just approaches being like being transported to another world in such a different fashion from 99% of other anime series. And yeah, there's the artistic process being feeling like you're stuck and not having motivation is addressed in this series, and there's lots of it, like the background art's pretty nice. There's lots of interesting scenery in this other world where she travels, and the fact that it comes from her memory of a film that she watched and that inspired her to become an animator in the first place, and that she can interact with its timeline. It's you know, it's an interesting story, and uh, yeah, I mean, I had a pretty good time watching this show. I think maybe I was
Hmm.
really harsh on it when we talked about it. I don't really remember, but I don't regret watching it or anything.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think this is one of those show where like when we first watch, because we watch it right at the end of the season, we were just like, it does work. But like, yeah, if like another 6 months, and like when I think back of it, I think a lot more positive on the show than I was just right after watching it.
Yeah, I in fact I was like flirting with the idea of putting Lazarus in my top 10.
Right.
We, like kind of operating under a similar effect. You watch something, you're like, that wasn't so great. You think back on it, you're like, I had a pretty good time.
All right. I had the opposite feeling on Lazarus though. I just feel that it's too safe for it's so good.
Too
It
safe.
yeah. It could have been like going a lot differently. A lot more risk taking in this approach.
Huh.
Instead, like the story wise, I feel it's a bit safe.
Perhaps. I mean, it was very rooted in reality. The
Right.
idea of
Mm.
like a pandemic brought on by um,
Uh,
the
yeah.
virus and all that. Whatever the
Yeah.
plot was exactly. It's kind of hard to sum up because it's somewhat contradictory when you dig into it. But
Yeah.
yeah, Zenshu definitely a lot more fantastical, you know,
Mm.
being set in
True.
another world and all that. Interesting pick.
All right. What's your number seven? So far we haven't had any overlap. That's just
That's
the
true.
thing I want to read.
Yep. My number
All right.
seven. This here's another show where we won't overlap. Mine is Fujimoto Tatsuki 17 to 26,
Oh, right.
the
Yep.
anthology of 8 different adaptations of one shots by Tatsuki Fujimoto Tatsuki, the author of Chainsaw Man, Look Back, Fire Punch.
Mm. Yep.
Um, so it was interesting watching these shorts. There were 8 of them because there were many similarities I found between his later work, the work that we're familiar with,
Mm.
and the stories and the characters of these shorts.
Mm.
The last two in particular were Nayuta of the Prophecy, which had a character with a backstory that was quite similar to a major player in Chainsaw Man Part Two,
Mm.
because the Chainsaw Man manga is in its second part right now. And
Oh.
Shikaku, the final. No, hold on. Wait, give me a sec. What is the? Oh, Sisters. The final episode of this anthology is called Sisters, and it's about two female siblings who both attend art school, and about the strain that puts
Mm.
on their relationship. So in that way, it's very similar to Look Back,
Right.
which is about two girls who pursue, you know, an
Yep.
artistic path. Um, so I kind of interesting to see the roots of his ideas for those later works in these one shots. Lots of good music and animation across these 8 episodes. Now there were two stinkers by the same director at the same studio.
Oh,
that were just bad, at least in my opinion.
right.
But the remaining six, I would say five of them were very good. Um,
Mm.
so that I mean that's a pretty high batting average for an anthology. A lot of anthologies are like so experimental and have such a small amount of common ground between them that it's really like flipping a coin basically. But most of the entries in this anthology were pretty good. One that you might be interested in is the third episode, which is called "Love Is Blind."
Mm.
And I don't remember the name of the director or his history, but I am almost certain that he was employed at Shaft for some amount of time because there's a crazy amount of Monogatari series influence.
Wow.
Like all the way down to title cards, text cards
Right,
being
right.
used to transition between scenes that are like monochromatic and have white text on them in the same way that Monogatari series does. Of course, there's also a head tilt and other like Shinboisms, but uh, Love Is Blind is one that you may want to check out. It has a pretty funny story. It's more comedy oriented. It's about a boy who wants to confess his feelings to a girl, but he keeps getting interrupted by like more and like increasingly um, dangerous events. And it escalates to the point where eventually he makes another attempt at confessing his feelings, and he's interrupted by like aliens coming to Earth. Um, and then the alien who comes in a spaceship and like beams down to Earth gets involved in his attempt to confess his feelings to this girl, and it's very silly and very well paced, and I enjoyed that one a lot.
Mm.
Um, the one I mentioned earlier that's reminiscent of Look Back called Sisters, one of the best shorts in here for sure. Um, there's also Woke Up as a Girl Syndrome, which is an episode about a couple whose relationship is tested when one of them wakes up and their gender has switched. I suppose I should say their biological sex has switched. But they, through like discussing what they're going to do about it, uh, they come to the conclusion, I guess, that they're going to stay together because they're still the same people at heart. That's like an exploration of gender identity, which is something that, as far as I can tell, Fujimoto is interested in, based
Mm.
on his like work in Chainsaw Man, especially parts of the series that the anime has not yet adapted.
Right.
And there's also episode one called "A Couple Clucking Chickens Were Still Kickin' in the Schoolyard," which is post-apocalyptic. It's set in a world where aliens have taken over Earth completely, and they keep humans as pets. Um, but they do it unknowingly. The humans dress up as chickens, and they keep chickens as pets. If they knew that there were humans wearing chicken costumes, they would kill them and eat them. So the story is about how the humans have to, like, the lengths they have to go to disguise themselves, um,
Wow.
which has a lot of great animation in that one because it ends with a battle scene.
Mm.
Uh, so pretty like good stuff. You know, it was better. It had a higher batting average, I guess I'll say, than I expected, and cool music and animation. So wanted to give it a shout out here.
Cool. I have two questions for you about these shows. Have you heard? Have you heard about Look Back?
Have I heard about it?
Yep. Any news about that?
News about it? No. What do you mean?
All right. It's getting a live action adaptation by
Oh,
Kureda.
by Koreeda.
Yes, and they're shooting at
What?
the moment. Yes.
Wow.
So good
Wow,
on them.
that is crazy. I can't wait for that.
Right. I just think that by Koeda making that, it might overshadow what the anime and even the manga have achieved because I think the I haven't read the manga. The anime did a good job on like on doing that. So yeah, I have a bit of mixed feeling, but mostly positive feeling about Korea adapting Look Back.
Yeah. Cool.
It's supposed to be airing, I think, this year, 2026.
Is it going to be like on Netflix or something? Because he has a partnership with Netflix. He's directed 2 TV series for them.
Right. Not sure how they're gonna release that. Maybe it will be appear in cast. I don't know, but yeah. I just
Wouldn't
heard
you
that
think that Khan would like shy away from a
no,
manga adaptation? I don't know if they would want to
uh,
put that on in the main competition. He
they
might be
did
too
put
snobby.
some. They did put some of the his Kureda. I think Kureda is no stranger to adapting manga before. One of his work have been in Cannes. Our Little Sisters. Uh, uh, they have like the original title, which I'm looking up now.
Our Little
Uh,
Sister, right?
Umimachi Diary.
Yeah. Oh
So
yes, you just said Our Little Sister.
yep,
I
yep, yep.
what I meant to
So
say was the Japanese title, and it came out wrong.
all right, yep. So yep, Umimachi Diary had already screened in Cannes before. So I
I
think
didn't know that was
they
based on a
they
manga.
it's based on the manga. Yeah, I think I read the material when I heard about that. I read like the first few chapters of that. In any case, they not gonna say no to Korea, submitting a new film. So
I guess, yeah.
yeah, we will see. My second question that I want to ask you is you mentioned that two bad ones that directed by the same guy by the same studio. So uh is it more because of how they adapt the material more than the the one shot story itself that are bad?
Um, well, I would tentatively say yes, because in these episodes there's a lot of like there's aliens, there's demons, there's a lot of supernatural stuff. And in the two and there's a one about a vampire as well, although his vampirism is not like central to the story. So one of the 2 episodes that I'm talking about, the stinkers, was about
Right.
mermaids,
All right.
and
Mm,
it was just like it was more concerned with the aesthetic of mermaids, like how they look and how pretty they are and everything, as compared to
right.
using the fact that they're like distinct from humans and that grudges form between them to tell an interesting story. I think if a different director or a different studio or whatever had that material, they would have brought out the more thematic elements of that story.
Mm, mm,
And
gotcha.
then as for the other one, there was just some ugly ass 3D CG in it, and
Right.
I don't know, it just was not good.
Cool. All right. All right. Ready for me to disclose my number six?
Disclose away.
All right. Let's do it. I guess this one gonna be on your first half. That one we also talk about that in one of our podcasts. And that one is the summer Hikaru die.
Okay.
That's
Yes, this will. I mean, this one's pretty obvious, so I'll just go ahead and say it is on my list.
right. It's a pretty solid psychological thriller, or even some of them say horror. What sets itself apart is that how it's less up like this through the horror elements and more about a character study. So the conflict and the strength obsession between these main characters, for me the main thing that kind of like pull me in this the story. Uh, it's slow burn. All of these things are very slow burn, but it's sneak up on you on every direction. I feel it's run a bit too slow for the first core. As a result, like this first core doesn't have much, like of a surprise, but it also laid a foundation, very solid foundation between these characters so that the second core is to come. I think this had already been confirmed, and I'm really looking forward to like now or when the shit hit the fans.
Yeah, I mean, there's a point in this first core where the shit does hit the fan. Doesn't one of the main characters get decapitated, and then his head gets put back
Right,
on,
right,
right? Tanaka,
right,
the guy
right,
who carries around the
right.
hamster, is able to like reattach his head, or something.
Right. Yep. Yep.
The
Yep. Yep.
fact that
And
Hikaru has this power, this this other being inside of him
yeah.
makes him essentially immortal. So the
Right.
shit can hit the fan, and then it can all get rewound. Like the shit can all get put back in the toilet, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, but the thing is, like, even after that, that guy didn't really pursue Hikaru or anything. Like he
Right.
just let slide. And yeah,
Yeah,
there will be more to come.
his character has not fully like revealed his intentions or become a part of the major story. We know he works for like a company that is based on
Mhm.
the other side, on like the in the other world. Um,
Right.
but and when I say company, it's like a shadowy organization, really. Uh,
Mhm.
but he hasn't totally emerged as a major player. We do see him at like come to the beach in episode 12, the final beach scene between what is Hikaru and what is his name? Is it Yoshiki? Is that the guy's
Uh,
name?
y- yep. Yoshiki.
Yoshiki. The two of them have that scene on the beach, and then Tanaka shows up towards the end, and it's like a bit of a cliffhanger.
Hmm.
But yeah, the show may not have reached its full potential yet.
Yep. Yep. I agree. All right. Now on to your number six.
All right. Yeah, I'll talk about the summer Hikaru died a little later. Um, but it
Hmm.
is not my number six. My number six is the second season of, or perhaps just the next four episodes of, Pokemon
Hmm.
Concierge.
All right.
I don't know if this is technically a new season or if it's just a continuation, but it doesn't really matter. It's four more episodes of stop motion animated Pokemon goodness.
Yep.
Um, it's just like this is my ideal for how Pokemon should be depicted on screen. Uh, it's so interesting to see all the different ways that they're portrayed and the different materials used for their models, like felt for guys with fur or wool, and clay, and resin for Pokemon that have like more solid, need a more solid model. There's constant visual interest as a result, and the set of the like tropical island where this resort uh, is located is so colorful, and it's just really fun to look at. The show also had one of my favorite anime episodes of the year. Episode 6 was about an elderly man who was the uncle, I think, of one of the pre-existing characters, who visited the island and then left. He left his Pokemon behind. He abandoned it because he was concerned that he was getting too old to take care of it. And the Pokemon itself was like growing bigger, and it was harder to take care of. Um, and I just really liked the writing of that episode. The fact that he like was filled with such regret when he abandoned this Pokemon, and how the staff of the resort were able to catch him before he left, and the conversation that they had with him as a result, and how like vulnerable he was about it. It's a very very interesting intersection of the mechanics of the Pokemon world, which are kind of changed for this story, um,
Mhm.
and also Japan's demographic crisis, the fact that their population is aging, and concerns among the Japanese people about what that means for the future of their country. This episode was kind of like a microcosm of that. Um, so I really thought that episode was a total standout. Um,
Mhm.
Lots of other cool moments as well. You know, the main character Haru. This show is just as much about Haru, the main character, and her learning to like love her job and to be good at it, as it is about Pokemon. Um, so Haru, she continues to grow into her role on as a concierge at this resort in this second season. She even trains a new team member for the first time, and she has like some insecurities about whether she's like good enough at her job to teach someone. That was an interesting subplot. and her ex-boyfriend shows up in episode 8, and they handled very subtly. It was like very cute, not going too hard in any like one narrative direction. It was just kind of chilled out, like comedic, slightly romantic, very sweet episode. The sort of episode that most anime could never write because they would go too far in one direction or another. Um,
Mm.
so really like the writing here, and of course the visuals too. Love stop motion. So Pokemon Concierge back on my list, and it'll probably make another appearance if and when they do a third set of episodes.
All right, good on you. I don't have anything to add on Pokemon Concierge,
All
but
right, that takes us into
yeah,
the top five then, right?
right. All right. The first one on like the top half of my list, number five, is the only sequels that I have for the top 10.
Okay,
And
I think I know
this,
what that is, but I
uh,
was wrong last time, so I'll just let you do it.
all right, yep, it's the Apothecary Diaries season 2.
Okay, that is indeed what I predicted.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. So we talked about this show in our previous podcast. Long story short, I had a chance to catch up with the show, including the rest of the first season and this second season. And I think we went through them in like 10 days or a week. It's just that good to go through, like the 12 to 24 episodes. Uh, in this second season, the plot thickens in our caught intrigued, but not in the way that I originally anticipated. So I still feel that the pacing is still the main issues, and the relationship between Mamao and Shinji is better not there. They hint a lot about that, and Shinji now become more obsession to Mamao is the direction I don't want the show to go to.
I mean, he
But
was already kind of obsessed with her in season one.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's getting even more desperate in second season. Um, so the pacing at first they seem to focus more on the small incidents, or like small mysteries that Mama decide to solve, but then suddenly the big review drops and we get into like really like the back skin of the show. It's have an epic ending that if bigger than the first one had done, and the show this season itself boosts many of my favorite characters. So yeah, I think this second season is even bigger and much more epic than the first season. So if you kind of like the first season, just check this one out as well.
Okay. Uh, yeah. Just like you didn't have anything to add about Pokemon, I don't have much to add about this. I did see, I like stumbled across a clip of
Yep,
Jinshi and Mao Mao like in some sort of underground
yep,
crystal cave or something, and he's
yep.
like
It's the story about
on
the
top
frog.
of her,
Yep,
and is like, I don't know. There's just a bunch of sexual tension, I guess.
yep.
Um, I thought that was pretty
See,
weird.
it's pretty weird. Like she touching something, and she thought it was a frog, because she at that point still think that Shinji is
A
an
eunuch.
eunuch,
Yeah.
eunuch. Yep.
So when
Oh
you say
gosh.
she's touching something, you're referring
Yep.
to Jinshi's
S-
quote unquote frog.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
That's correct.
All right. Well, I guess does she know now that he has a frog, or does she
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that he is frogless?
No. No. She know now, but she have a phobia of the real frog now, because every time she see the frog, she think of that scenes.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And Shinji revealed his true identity to Mao Mao at the end of this seasons. So
Okay.
now Mao Mao know about Shinji as well.
Okay. So I remember predicting that he was like the bastard son of the emperor or something when we did our finish your food
Right.
episode. So
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm gonna watch season two. So can you just give me like a thumbs up or thumbs down? Was I correct?
All right, say that again.
Is he the emperor's illegitimate son?
The current emperor is illegitimate son, turns out.
Okay, but you added the word current, so he's like the previous emperor's illegitimate son or something.
Yeah, turns out.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I mean, that is a very interesting twist. It's kind of easy to see
And
coming, I think, but
right.
it opens up a lot of storytelling possibilities for sure.
But it might not be a real twist. Like you say, he might be actually be a real son of the current emperor. So we will see on that because there is no
Huh?
hint on that at the moment.
How can he be the illegitimate son of the of a past emperor and also the current
No, no,
son
no.
of the what?
So he might not be the son of the past emperor, but he might be the son of the current emperor. So,
But he
uh,
is an illegitimate son of an emperor, right?
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
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 Well,
I mean,
let's
it's
just
an
leave it at
interesting
that.
direction for sure.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Okay, Apothecary season 2.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna get into my top 5 now, I guess. And
Yep.
this is a show that's already been mentioned quite recently. It is the summer Hikaru died.
Yep.
Um, Probably has the oddest visual presentation of the year, which I liked a lot. For
Mm,
example, there will be like close-ups of characters with like speed lines in the background for like a really intense shot of their
right.
reaction to something, and then it'll cut to a wide
Mm,
shot. That same character is still in frame, and there's like a little miniature background behind their head with the speed lines
right.
still moving.
Mm,
A very weird quirk, which I, I I
mm,
don't know. I don't know whether I liked it or not, but it was at least interesting.
mm,
There's a scene in episode 5 where we go inside a character's mind and there's like columns of like brain matter kind of swirling around. There's a shot in episode 12 of the ocean like rippling around a character's calves, and it's like monochromatic, and the ripples are represented in as like white lines, and all of the ghosts or spirits or whatever you want to call them have very eerie and off-putting designs to them, like they have really long necks or whatever. There's the scene where a naked guy stabs himself on their high school grounds because
mm,
he's under the influence of like a spirit or something, or he is a spirit. It's a very strange show, visually speaking.
mm,
Um, like the lighting as well, very kind of blown out,
mm.
which I think fits the horror vibe.
Yep.
Um, and I was talking earlier about Tanaka, the company man who takes around the hamster. There's a lot of intrigue surrounding his character. We didn't get much of him, but I really liked whenever he showed up. He was one of my favorite like kind of background characters in anime this year. Also very interested in the like the same-sex attraction between
Yep.
Yoshiki and Hikaru and how that is kind of tied into their relationship as a human versus like a supernatural entity in the body of a
Yep.
human.
Yep.
The like that insecurity and is kind of reflected in that aspect of their relationship too. And then of course there's also the like Freudian scenes where Yoshiki puts his hand inside of Hikaru through
Yep.
like what I would describe as an opening in his chest that's reminiscent of like a vaginal opening.
Yep. Yep.
Um, so there's all sorts of symbolism going on there about their feelings for one another and their like perhaps their desire for one another. Also, really liked episode 7. I remember when we discussed it, you sort of had a more negative reaction to it than I did.
Yep.
But episode
Yep.
7 is the one with the choir performance that leads
Mm,
into the two boys going to Yoshiki's house and Yoshiki attempting to stab and kill
stop.
Hikaru
Yep.
because he's like afraid of what Hikaru is capable of. So
Mm,
that tension between him wanting to protect Hikaru and also wanting to destroy him, I think, kind of resonates uh, on the level of um, their interpersonal relationship, like him wanting to be with Hikaru as a friend, as a lover, but also feeling unsure about like the desire that he has for him, and wanting to like kill that part of his feeling for his friend. It's just very like all that stuff is interwoven pretty well, I feel, to the point that you can't totally break it down. It's all one big knot.
Mm.
Um, I will say that the last 33% of this core, when they start doing a lot of research about folklore and the history of their town and like Nodoki-sama and all that stuff, I really did not care for very much. So that kind of bumped it down. This could have been like a top three show for me, I think, if it hadn't gotten in the weeds like that. But nevertheless, I did enjoy this first core quite a bit, and I'm looking forward to season two.
Yeah. I think I forgot to mention about the queer vibe that this show have, and this is one of the more distinctive queer vibe that we have in anime.
Yeah.
But by like by suppressing the feeling, not by like over showing it. I love that. And like you said, like the all these touch me and go inside his chest. It's just like a big uh, uh, uh
A
just
metaphor.
yeah, big metaphor for like having sex with each
Yep.
other. So that's what I really like.
Yeah. It's very creative,
Yeah.
and a little bit twisted, and there's
Mm.
even, there's even I guess you could say there's kind of a romantic element to it,
Right.
perhaps more of a
Yeah.
lustful one.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but I think the show handles it pretty well.
Yeah. 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 I agree. All right. My number four is the one that we sing praise about when we after we finish that show. It's the original show. It's
Okay.
Apocalypse Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, like I said, it's like the most original email. Sorry, the most original anime of this year. As with Touring, with after the apocalypse, it's imagine the post-apocalyptic world where human is all gone. So just the robots who still function and waiting for the human to come back. It's so charming. Like it have a lot of way to fresh out that concept from having different guests. Uh, mm, Now is they are alien guests, and they show the passage of time where they are the only like constant characters that are still doing the work, and most of the episodes are mostly consistent. The only chapter that I don't like, I think I mentioned that before, is the one where our girl Yachiyo become a delinquent.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I enjoy pretty much like the rest of what this show has to offer, and I'm looking forward to a crossover between this show and Touring After the Apocalypse because for me they are just different side of the same coin.
That would be
Imagine like the
interesting.
Yep, imagine like the two girls from Touring, they come into this hotel and stay.
Well,
They
part of the issue with
Yep,
that is that Apocalypse Hotel works, its story kind of works because there are no
there's no human,
humans. And
and
one of
I
the main
think
characters in Shuumatsu Touring is a human being.
yeah, well, part of what touring after the apocalypse work is also because there are no human at all in the world, so
That's true. It's
it
mostly robots, and many of the main characters in Apocalypse Hotel are robots.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
So
I mean, one of the main characters is a robot, but there are plenty of supporting characters in Apocalypse
right,
Hotel. The little helper droids or task droids or whatever they are. And
yeah,
they're all so cute.
yeah, yeah. I just love the show. I think more original anime should be like this. Like very still daring. There is in particular one episode where like it's almost silence. It's where Yatiyo is having like a day off, so she like wander the street and maybe thinking about her purpose, and then like she just go around. She meet like a a version like herself, but like that disease that like no longer function, and then she took a part from her, and then I think she might have come to like another hotel where it's no longer function, and then she just like sit and relax, and then just come back to the hotel to do a new day. I think that one is like my favorite episodes of like the whole year.
Mm. That was episode 11.
Right.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yep. Hmm. All right.
All right, we'll
I
see
don't,
if Apocalypse Hotel is on my list or not.
I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be there.
You
All
may
right.
be right. You may be right.
Yeah. Hmm. All right.
I can tell you at the very least, not my number four,
Right.
because my number four, this is one that I don't imagine you'll be able to guess, is
All right.
Gnosia.
Oh. All right.
So apparently, I didn't know this, but apparently this show is going to be or not two core. It's just 24 episodes, and it's going to run straight through.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Um, this is a show that I didn't particularly like the first episode. In fact, the process I kind of went through with this show kind of reminds me of what was that? Oh, Astra, Lost in Space, Kanata no
Right.
Astra,
Right.
where I didn't like the first episode at all. It was like a sci-fi series where I didn't care for the first episode at all. And then as
Right.
the show went on, I started to open up to it more and more. That was kind of my experience with Gnosia. Um,
Hmm.
it starts as a simple social deduction game, an
Right.
adaptation of a visual novel that uses that mechanic. But it
Hmm.
evolves from there into kind of a series of experiments in storytelling with alternate dimensions. Because the main
Wow.
character Yuri is looping, um, or not. It's not a time loop that he's experiencing. He's jumping from dimension to dimension, from parallel world to parallel world.
All
Um,
right.
and in each of these different worlds, there are subtle differences, which start to become more blatant the further along you get. Like the characters' personalities, their backstories, even in one case, their gender is different from
Wow.
universe to universe. And then plots begin to develop that are some like plots apart from the Gnosia infestation on the ship. Like there's a character who is a psychopath and like goes on a murdering spree, separate from they're not a Gnosia. They just
Hmm.
kill a bunch of people, um, but they don't do it in every single world line. And so Yuri is trying to figure out, in addition to figuring out from dimension to dimension who the Gnosia are, because that's what you need to do to survive. He's also
Hmm.
trying to figure out these mysteries that are cropping up in different world lines, and what causes them to manifest sometimes and not other times.
All
Um,
right.
there's, sorry, were you about to ask a question or?
No, 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 no. You go on. I
Okay.
can ask a question later on.
Their episode 12, the most recent one, even uh, has a different point of view character. So the first 11 episodes all take place with Yuri being the point of view character, because he wakes up at the start and he like is missing some of his memory. And that's why someone always explains to him, um, we're on board this ship and you were like knocked unconscious and there are two Gnosia or three Gnosia or whatever the number may be. They have to explain it to them, and he serves as like the audience surrogate. We learn through him. In episode 12, there's a new primary character, and Yuri it occupies a secondary role. Um,
Hmm.
and there are some other episodes as well that I don't even want to. I don't know whether you plan to watch this show or not, but regardless, there are some twists that I don't even want to mention in
Wow.
case somebody is listening to this who may watch the show in the future, uh, that are crazy, like kind of like break the format of the series. Episode 8 in particular is one of them, and to accompany the fact that it is so radically different from everything that comes before it, it introduces and like segues into a new ending theme that
Hmm.
reflects how the show has changed as a result.
Wow.
So the presentation is pretty cool. Um, and there's yeah, I mean, I didn't expect to like the show as much as I did, but I really do enjoy it. And I'm glad that there are going to be 12 more episodes. It all takes place on a spaceship, but there's like a simulation room on the spaceship that takes the
Mm,
form of whatever. It's like the come and go room from Harry Potter, or the room of
right,
requirement, or whatever that room is called, where whoever
right,
enters it like shapes it through their thoughts. And so
right.
you can explore characters' backstories
Mm,
by scenes where they go into that room and it kind of like takes the form of whatever their home planet is,
mm,
and you learn about characters that way. And I mean, the show has its like weird quirks, uh, some of which I like, some I don't. Like it's very much an anime. Uh,
mm.
there's the comedy is hit or miss. There's a bit of fan service that I don't particularly care for. It's not terrible, but not it doesn't really feel necessary. But
Mm.
for me, those are just like small complaints. I really do like the show as a whole. So looking forward to the rest of it when it airs in 2026.
It's a really interesting pick. It flew over my radar, but I want to pick it up now. I remember watching the first episodes, and I kind of like uh the werewolf aspect of that.
Hmm.
Uh, I didn't know that, from different dimension, and now you mentioned that it actually makes sense because he not, looping through time, but he looping through different dimension, so that the virus actually affect different people.
Yeah,
So that actually is a good one. And you mentioned about Yuri, that he still amnesia, right? He still doesn't remember much between each of.
kind of. There's a little bit of a
Right,
twist on that as the show goes on.
right, yeah. So
It there's a
yeah,
lot of there's a lot of twists so far.
I I think I like the main concept of like trying to find who the traitors are, or who the werewolf are. So this is in the base idea. I really like. I like the character design as well. They look so distinct from each other. So
Yeah.
as you mentioned, they're gonna be more about that. So it's less about how they talk, but it's more about like you mentioned, go into a different room and see their version of 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 like their hometown and all that, and from that you can tell about what the person they are.
Yep.
Really interesting. So yep, I will give that one a try sometimes.
All right. Okay, it's top three time.
Yep, it's top three. This one
So
I've
I
been
know I'll say I'm sure of two of your top three, but I
right.
don't know the third one.
All right, this may be the one then. I kind of tossing between number two and three because like I enjoy the both, and at any single moment I can like just toss choose this one compared to number two. But since my number two is more complete, I gotta go number three with this one, and this is Sanda.
Okay.
Sanda. Uh, it's it's bold. It's very bold. So it's from the mangaka who wrote Pista, which is also one of my favorite anime for the last few years. Uh, I just like the way she writes. She kind of write like crazy story. It have a very like very interesting concept, and right at the first minute we get thrown into it right away. So like a main character who have like his who has his classmate just like try to stab him right at the first 10 seconds, and then it's go more crazy from there on. And more than anything, more than any other show this year, I have the most fun watching this one because I cannot guess what happened next. The animation is top notch, and every cast member is memorable. Like I just like every single one of them. Uh, it also kind of like brings some raw feelings to these characters. Uh, it offers a nice alternate alternative world settings that is derived from our current world, but which we can still relate. So like they still know about Santa. They don't know who Santa is, but they kind of like not never seen him in real life, but they know who Santa is, and it run from that idea. I just basically love the artistic of on that one man. I kind of like the humor as well, and yeah, there's still more episodes to come. I hopefully that gonna come real soon because I cannot wait to watch more of that.
Do you like? There hasn't been any. I,
Confirmation at all? I don't think
yeah,
so.
I don't know if there are going to be more episodes.
I think so. This is Science Zero we're speaking of, and I think the show is popular enough. I hope.
uh, Remind me. I mean, I watched all 12 episodes of Sanda, but
Right.
I already need you to remind me how episode 12 ends. I mean, I know there's the fight against the headmaster, and then, but like, how does
Right.
it end? Does Ono die?
Oh no, die.
Okay, I remember
This
that.
it involving oh no, die. So I think it's more about reflecting about her death,
Like,
and
what is the ending note, I guess, of that episode?
I try to remember now. But is it Sanda come into the classroom and see Shiori stand there alone in the classroom, and then she be able to cry, and then Sanda just kind of like remember what Ono told her told him to like whenever Shiori died, just be there for her.
Whenever Shiori dies, just be there for her.
No, no Christ, sorry, Christ, not
Oh,
die.
you're talking about Fuyumura, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shiori is Fujimura. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you said early on as you were talking about the show, you just love the way that the Beastars author writes. You love her writing. I
yep,
hate her writing,
right, yeah,
and I
fair enough.
hated Sanda.
Yeah, well, fair enough.
I watched the whole thing though. I don't know why exactly. I wanted to. I'll tell you why. I wanted to hit 20 completed series this year, and I did. And Sanda was
My
one of
finish
them.
is Sanda.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Okay.
just feel. I'll tell you what I felt early on, like early in
Right.
these 12 episodes, maybe around episode 4, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense that the story is confined to this academy. It just feels like Beastars 2.0. Like it all has to be set on
Yeah.
campus. And I mean, the story of somebody discovering that they're Santa Claus is bigger than a school.
Yeah.
And it just felt as though the story took every possible pain to keep to like not to open itself up.
Mhm.
Like whenever someone might discover Sanda's alter ego, something ridiculous happens to keep it a secret. Like when he battles the headmaster in the laundry room, the headmaster's
Yeah.
cybernetic eyes fall out of his head. Uh-oh, guess I can't see who it is that transformed into Santa Claus. When he half transforms during the almost kiss scene with his fiancée, he like starts to
Yeah.
transform into Santa Claus. She can't see because her face is buried in his chest, so she can't see anything. But that doesn't make any sense because he got like twice as tall as he was transforming. So obviously she would feel that and look up, but she doesn't. And then there's this scene where he's like laying back on the pile of leaves next to Fumi, who is
Yeah.
the leader of the adult killer class.
Right. Right. Right.
Um, and she feels like he transforms into Santa when they're the two of them are laying back on the pile of leaves there because that
Yeah.
whole part of the story is about him wanting to like grant her wish, even though
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
trying
Yeah.
to kill him. So it's clear from the storyboarding that like her eyes widen or something as her head is turned away, and she feels the hand that she's holding change.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she know, and I think it's implied that she knows that it's Santa
See.
Claus
Yeah.
uh, Sanda is Santa. She confirms it at that point. Maybe she
Yeah.
already knew. but she doesn't turn her head and look, even though she wants to kill this guy. It's just like,
That's the cool part of that,
no,
like
nope.
she doesn't need to look to understand to know.
Well, sure, but doesn't she want to kill him? Why not take that
Yes, yes, she
opportunity?
does. Yeah, well,
And dude, the
she
scene
did.
where she like pumps him full of holes, and there's
Yeah,
a bunch of students standing around, and they're like, "What's going on? There's so much smoke, I can't tell. I- is that the sound of a gun? What the hell kind of writing is this? It's she's like shooting him with an automatic weapon.
oh,
It makes no sense at all. Oh, I just can't deal
I,
with this show.
I, I love that.
I couldn't deal with it. It's just it
I,
like
I,
okay, I'm done. I'm done.
I love the guy who just want the good for people, just want to make people happy, even though that he got received like thousand bullets into him, he cannot die. This guy, he just want to hug people, hug people to sleep.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Like that he has such immense power. It just
Right.
doesn't feel right to me that this show is being artificially constrained to this one location. You gotta set him
Mm,
free. Like there's a bigger
yeah,
story here. Um,
yeah.
when you try to keep it on this campus by like making people ignorant of his and like the teacher, the undercover teacher who tries to kill him in like episode 4, then becomes his buddy.
Oh, I
Uh,
love him.
he
God.
he talks like in public at the festival, like not whispering or anything. Oh, Sanda, he's getting like riddled with bullets. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
there are students all around. They could easily overhear you. What are
And
you thinking, man? What's going
and
on?
that's the exact point as well. Like said that before that teacher discover him, he just like I'm I'm the real Santa now. And then he gets shot by by that teacher.
Yeah.
I think back in like episode 3. So yeah, that's how the world run in this show, I guess. And have you watched like the second season of Pista? Because
No.
that's when the world opened up. Like that's when
I know they
uh
leave the school. Yeah.
yeah, they leave the school and all that.
Yeah.
So
No, I mean I was aware that Beastars eventually did that, but I haven't seen. I mean, I just didn't like the first season at all. So
mm, mm, no,
yeah,
understandable.
I don't. This author's work does not click with me at all. But I figured that you were going to be a fan, so
Yeah,
you know,
I'm a
I
fan.
I knew Sando was going to be in the top 10 somewhere.
All right,
I had
all
to I
right.
had to get my rant out though, because I took
Hmm.
major notes while I was watching.
Is there any other things that you want to
Oh,
mention on Sada?
paragraphs and paragraphs, seriously. But not anything I want to harp on right now. I already did that enough.
All right,
Okay, well, I think I know your top two now.
right.
Um, how about you? Do you think you know my top three? I know you didn't do like an official prediction this year or whatever.
Can you do your three and I try to guess the other two? I try to look it up now.
Okay. Well, I
Uh,
mean, my number three is the one that you won't be able to guess. I don't think.
all right,
Shall I reveal it?
all right. Let's just go reviewing it then.
Okay. It is Karaoke Iko, or if I'm to use my Gaijin pronunciation, Karaoke Iko.
Really?
Hmm.
Wow. All right. Go for it. I have never heard that.
I once I describe it, you may remember. So there was a plan this year, I guess, to adapt two like kind of BL light manga
Right.
by an artist named Yama Wayama, probably a pseudonym.
Mhm.
Each of the adaptations was 5 episodes long. One was Karaoke Iko, and one was Muchu sa Kimi ni, which I can't remember what that translates to in English. Uh,
Cap- Captivated by you.
yes, yes. So I ended up preferring Karaoke Iko out of the two. It's
Right.
about a middle school choir student and a young a yakuza in his like late 20s, mid 20s. Um,
Hmm.
in his crime family, there is a tradition of everybody getting together once a year and having a karaoke contest. And whoever comes in last place gets a tattoo from their boss of something that they hate. He will tattoo on their body like they're something that they find disgusting or something that they hate or whatever.
All right.
So by chance, I actually don't even remember now how the yakuza hears this kid sing. I guess he attends
Right.
one of his recitals or something for whatever reason. Um, but he ends up confronting the kid and being like, "Listen, the future of my like body is on the line here. I don't want to have something disgusting tattooed on me. So you're going to be my singing teacher now." And the
Okay.
story is about the relationship that evolves between the two of them. Now there is some like romantic tension between them, despite the
Yeah.
massive age gap. Personally, I felt as though the writing is like very natural,
Mm.
and the yakuza has like a bit of a childish streak to him. So I
Yeah.
it stayed out of like really scary territory for me.
Mm.
I could see somebody else having an issue with it and just like putting the show down completely, but I was okay with it. Um, really like the writing in this show. The humor in particular is great. Both the frustration of the teenage singing teacher with his adult pupil who like sucks at singing,
Mm.
uh, and also the episode, I think it's episode 4 out of 5, where he meets all the other contestants, all the other yakuza who are going to be singing in this karaoke contest. He meets them, and their personalities are just so funny. They like leap off the page in that episode. Um, in addition to the humor of the premise, there's also some very nice character work, particularly for the teenage character who is dealing with his voice changing since he's going through puberty. Um, the way that that is
Mm.
kind of paralleled with other events throughout the plot is really effective. And there is a twist regarding the fate of the Yakuza character. He doesn't die or anything, but something that he goes through in the story kind of puts a wrench into how you expect it's going to go. So that in episode 5, it's kind of dedicated to the Yakuza character almost entirely. And that was a great decision. Apparently, that episode was anime original and was supervised by the author of the manga. Um, and I
Mm.
honestly I would call it one of the best anime original episodes of a of a manga based anime that I've ever seen.
Mm.
It
Right.
was very impressive what they managed to do. If it was indeed you know new
The
material,
original.
not in the manga.
Yeah.
So it was funny. I wouldn't say it was particularly heartfelt, but there was some some pathos to it.
Mm.
Great final episode and great writing in general.
Mm.
Animation pretty good. It was so so, but the singing scenes were good. They were like on beat. The mouth movements were like closely matched to the lyrics, so I appreciated that as well.
Yeah. All right. Guess I gotta check this one out because yep, I didn't know about this. But the concept that you're raising, that you talk about is actually pretty interesting. So
Well, you knew
singing
Captivated
karaoke,
by You, right?
right? Yep, I heard of that.
Oh, but you hadn't heard of this one.
I haven't heard of this one. No.
Interesting, because they're like two. They were both 5 episode adaptations,
Right.
and they were kind of like a package deal
Yep.
in terms of their production and everything. But yeah,
Yep.
I mean, Captivated by You was interesting, but I much preferred this one.
Right. I gonna check both of them out.
Okay,
All right. I still cannot guess your number two. Uh, I have like three possibility of your number two. I will run by that after I finish my number two. If that's all right.
sure. Yeah, what's yours?
All right, my number two. I think you have guessed it.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
I know your top two.
yeah. So yep, I kind of like thinking between this one and Sanda, and I kind of put one on top of Sanda at the moment. This is Kowloon generic romance.
Okay, I was wrong. Wow.
You were wrong. Wow.
Yep.
All right. So it's another romance drama from the author of After the Rain, which was both on our top anime of 2018. I know it's for me. I'm not sure it was the top anime for you back
It
in
was.
2018. Yeah. So Kowloon Genic Romance is even more ambitious in how it set up the romance and its settings. The setting itself, Kowloon, is based on the real place in Hong Kong, and you can see much of these character loves about every little details in this place. It's also served as a neat metaphor for nostalgia and regret themes. The ending worked well for me. While there are some loose ends here and there, narratively, I think it closes up well and it gives the character much depth. Um, yeah, so I'm generally happy that by the story of Kowloon. I think for 12 episode, they did a pretty good job of telling a complete like sci-fi-ish story, but very rooted in the romance.
All right. Wow. Yeah, I didn't predict this would be anywhere in your top 10, man. I thought that when we discussed
Well,
it, we were kind of on the same page in regards to its ending completely losing the plot and like being just a damn mess. I guess
all
not.
right. I, I was more positive on this one than you.
Okay.
Back then right, as well. All right. I have two guests. Actually, not three, but two guests on your number two.
Okay. Well, as
Um.
in regards to Kowloon,
Yep.
just real quick, I'm not going to criticize it or
Mhm.
anything. I want to say I think it's an interesting pick because personally,
Right.
I do think that the ending was a total letdown. But
Mm.
there is a lot about this show that I like. You know, the
Mm.
exploration of identity and the sci-fi premise and the character designs and the romance and the fact that it's so adult in its depiction of romance and all that. So I
Mm.
mean, I don't agree at all, but I do kind of like the pick.
Right. Yep. Well.
That's all.
All right.
So
As for
what are you mulling over in relation to my last two picks there?
all right, I think I know your number one. My your number two picks. I think gonna be either between the fragrant flowers bloom with dignity or Frog is a lady modesty.
You're completely wrong.
All right.
You forgot about
All right.
Apocalypse Hotel, dude.
Oh, jeez.
That's my
Yep.
number two.
Yep.
I'm sure you know my number one though.
Right.
Before I get into
Boy,
Apocalypse Hotel, dude, where is Medalist on your list?
it's no way in my near my lips.
I thought you really liked it. That's what I seem to remember anyway.
All right. So I think you need to mix up between Kowloon and this one
I
because
guess so.
yeah, made the list. When I finished watching it, I was like, yeah, it all right. Like it does its job. It's very conventional.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah.
I've been seeing it get a lot of praise online recently,
Hmm.
like from people who are thinking about what their anime of the year are going to be. Um,
Right.
I
Well,
mean,
they're gonna
I
be
agree with you. It's conventional. I don't think it's particularly special, apart from the
yeah.
CG skating scenes being like pretty impressive. That
Right.
is that makes it stand out.
And I think because they have like the second season coming this season as well,
Hmm.
so they might just like hyping it up for a bit.
Maybe.
Uh, I don't think the characters, especially the young ones, act their age. I think they act a little bit more mature than their age.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I thought Medalist was going to be a high ranking pick for you. I was dead wrong.
Right.
Um, yeah, Apocalypse Hotel. I guess we'll get back to that. Is
Right.
is my number two pick. of course. Yeah, best anime original of the year, in my
Hmm.
opinion.
Yeah.
So last year I kind of had a similar setup where I picked like a really dark sci-fi series as my number one, and then an anime original
Mm.
as number two. Here I've got that
Right.
again this year. So Apocalypse Hotel is the original. That's not to say that Apocalypse Hotel can't be dark,
Mm.
but rather than dark, I think it's kind of like existential. Because it's a series that's set in the far future after humanity has fled into space. And as we learn shortly, like early on in the series, they've been wiped out, more or less.
Mm.
Of course, a human does return to Earth in the final episode, episode 12. So they're not totally gone, but we learn that like there was a spaceship that the Tanuki family uh, like encounters in space that
Mhm.
was home to a bunch of humans, and when they go inside, like all their corpses are floating. Um, so we're kind of led to believe that humanity is totally wiped out. I mean, the series is existential in that. I mean, how isn't it? There's the doorman robot who has dialogue about how he recognizes that his purpose to open doors and to greet customers is completely futile in this future
Mhm.
where nobody is coming to this hotel.
Yeah.
But he continues to do it anyway because he'll fall into like despair and disuse if he doesn't keep it up. So he
Mhm.
recognizes what he's doing is not important, but he continues to do it anyway. There's the running gag of the shower cap that
Yeah.
Yachio is obsessed with because if even one thing is out of place, she like spirals into depression,
Mhm.
um, which I think just represents the fact that she is hanging on by a thread as the manager of this hotel because
Yeah.
she's not the first. There was the human manager who is dead, we can assume,
Yeah.
and there were the other robots like her that managed the hotel between his departure and her inheritance of the managerial title. Um, she's just the latest in a line in a procession of managers, and she is overwhelmed, even if she doesn't
Mhm.
show it all the time. Um, so the shower cap brings that out in her. Of course, there's episode 11, which you already mentioned, which is her quote unquote vacation, um, which is a really beautiful episode because it starts with her being dissatisfied with the fact that Ponko, the Tanuki girl, has been running the hotel effectively in her absence. And she is kind of insulted by that. And so when Ponko suggests that she take a vacation, she doesn't do it with like the best attitude to start with. But
Yeah.
her outlook is kind of transformed slowly over the course of that episode, and it's very quiet and introspective. And there's this scene where she expresses like silent gratitude for that chip that you mentioned that she takes from the corpse, I guess, of another robot like her.
Yeah.
Um, it's a funny series. It's very audacious. The time skips are crazy. The
Mhm.
plots that it comes up with from week to week are extremely varied and like nonsensical some of the time. But
Mhm.
they're always fun to follow. There's some battle scenes from like involving characters. Well, not only Yachio becoming a delinquent and having a battle in that episode, but there's also like characters that come to Earth and get involved in major battles that hardly have anything to do with the main plot. Those are like I was mixed on those, but it's crazy at least. It's a big risk. Um, the new functions that Yachio unlocks by completing quests, like make an
Yeah.
earthworm steak, or get stranded in space, or get bitten by a Pegasus,
Yeah.
are just like you can tell that the people who were writing this just had so much fun with it. They came up with so many ideas. They just wanted to pack them all
Mhm.
in.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I really admire that spirit.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it was just a lot of fun. Very
Yeah.
inventive, very, you know, took a lot of risks, I guess, and it really paid off. I really enjoyed this show.
Yeah. All right. Now on to our number one.
Yeah, being the operative word because I think we have the same show.
Yeah. All right. So far we have like two shows that overlaps. So we have Apocalypse Hotel
Hmm.
and the Summer Hikaru Die.
Yeah, and perhaps this third one, which would be probably an all-time low for us. If I
All
had
time
to
low.
guess, only three shared series in the top 10.
Right, right, right.
Interesting.
All right. I gonna announce my number one now, and it is Takopi original scene.
Hmm.
I guess it's come as no surprise that this one claimed our top spot. I Takopi run on the same veins as Goodnight Poo Poo or Flowers of Evils. It's about a dark, nihilist outlook of growing up. Uh, these are my favorite works, but for my money, Takopi is even better than this one. I like the way how it's construct the story. So like every kid, they are a victim of the abuse by like either by neglect or like by the direct abuse of their parents. It's a very hard to watch show, but in every episode, it's like another punch in the gut. Like they hold. It's like the author just hold the knife and twist it in every single episode. But by the end of that, it offers like lingers of hopes for all of these characters. I like the way that the show mix between like Takopi absolutely clueless and like pride, overly pride outlook to these like really dark, and it actually kind of like even out, so that like at the end his optimistic look still reach to these kids, and maybe that's the reason why it changed them. So very good message, very hassle to watch, but I'm glad that I make it because it's just one of the great mini series, 6 episodes show for I would say for the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
six is kind of an obscure episode number. It calls to
Hmm.
mind shows like Fooly Cooly and
Right.
what
Right.
else is what else is 6 episodes?
Um. Uh. Bus. What? Gunbuster
Oh, true.
and
Gunbuster and
Diebuster.
Diebuster. Yep. Yeah. OVAs like that.
If
Oh,
you, if
uh, Tatami Galaxy spinoff, Time Machine
yeah.
Blues. That was 6 episodes.
Right. I still count that as a movie though, so
But
I
you're
will
wrong.
be completely
It
honest.
isn't. It's not a movie.
Yeah. But this one
Uh,
is an anime show for sure, and yeah.
yeah. I mean, the first 5 episodes, yeah, they kind of flow like a movie. But
Right.
yeah, that would
Not the
be
last
another
one.
example, I guess. And Takopi is right up there. I think
Hmm.
it's also my number one. No
Right.
need to slow roll it.
Surprise.
Yeah,
Right.
it's just so clearly the best anime of the year, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I really love the dark stuff. As long as there's
Hmm.
just a little bit of hope in there to
Right.
balance things out. And Takopi does offer that. I mean, it's harrowing. It's so difficult to watch because Takopi is he's a happy Seijin. He's an alien from planet Happy. And so
Hmm.
when he, being ignorant of, humanity's ugliness, um, when he experiences it, like when he disguises himself or transforms or however he does it into Shizuka and experiences bullying from Marina, um, the terror that he feels is like communicated so effectively,
Hmm.
is
Yep.
so like strongly and easily felt by the audience because he is so like susceptible to it as somebody who hasn't experienced it. And it really,
Yep.
it makes you realize watching the show that people are cruel, like children are cruel,
Right.
human beings are cruel, and like Takopi is the perfect vessel, I guess, to communicate that because he doesn't understand it, and he like pushes away that realization until the end, when he like when his memories come back and he realizes this isn't the timeline This isn't his first experience on Earth. Originally, he met Marina when he came to Earth, and he was her friend. And his goal was to kill Shizuka for stealing her boyfriend. Um, and the I mean that just illustrates that he in that loop, I guess, because he's looping through time using one of his gadgets. Um, in that loop, he was like corrupted essentially by Marina's uh, her cruelty, like her illness, um, the trauma that she experienced from the murder attempt that her mother makes on her, and that she had to kill her in self defense. I mean, it's just brutal. Um, but in the end, like you said, Takopi's positivity does rub off somehow on these like broken kids. Um,
Mhm.
Azuma in particular, I think the journey that he goes through is more related to his family, like his mother's coldness and his
Mm.
brother's acceptance of him, like that he reaches out. Junya is the brother's name. He reaches out to his younger brother, even though he
Right.
suspects, I think, that Azuma may have been involved in the killing of Marina, or at least the
Yep.
covering up of her death. Even though Junior realizes something is up with his brother, he still loves him and communicates that to him and says, I'm here for you." So that really transforms Azuma, I think. But as far as Shizuka and Marina go, the lengths that Takopi goes to in order to secure a happy ending for the two of them, which he does by sacrificing himself, is wonderful. Like uh, it's just the story makes it just vague enough that he merely resets time, and the girls just happen to bond in this new timeline that he's created through his self-sacrifice. But
Mhm.
like glimpses of his existence, I think remain and
Mm.
impact that future. At least that's what I would like to believe, because he was really, despite the fact that he was willing to kill in one of his time loops, um, he was a force for good. I think in the lives of these children, and they really needed that, because they were living in hell on earth. I
Yeah.
just really like. It's strange to say, but I really like the balance of tones in this series, even though it is overwhelmingly, harrowing and
Dark.
disturbing. I
Right.
really like the percentage of it that is hopeful, which comes in
Yep.
at the end. I feel like it wraps it up very nicely. Um,
You,
so
you know,
it's my number
yeah,
one.
another show that remind me about the balance of, like happiness, not happiness, but, like optimistic and, in a setting that really dark like this,
What's that?
now and then, here and there.
Uh, I can see what you're saying. I mean, I think that Shu is so like overwhelmingly positive for most of the show. I mean, he does get beaten down eventually and starts to
Mm.
question his own optimism, but he for most of it he is so positive that it feels more balanced, perhaps, than this show.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I can sort of appreciate that comparison. That show also extremely bleak.
Right.
Yeah, this one deals with like parental abuse and you know child abuse between children, and that one deals with also child abuse, child soldiers, and
Mm.
also the sexual assault, the rape
Yeah,
of Sarah.
yeah.
Boy, that man, the episode where she like beats up the guard or maybe kills him, I can't remember, and escapes. Like the
Right,
first few minutes of that episode, that scene is just like lives in my head forever.
right. I remember the scene where the rapist, that guy, decided to help him. Sorry, to help Sarah.
In the final
When
episode,
in the final episode when she, I think she and the kids, I don't remember the kids, but they falling down from the stream, and he tried to, like try to put them into, into safety, and then the moment he turned back, he's already gone.
Yeah.
Oh, that scene stayed with me.
Yep. I think a lot of
All right.
people don't like, especially modern audiences, they don't have a lot of appreciation for that scene because
Mm,
it is sort of redeeming a rapist.
right, right,
Um,
right.
and of course, I can totally understand and respect why someone would come away from that scene feeling pretty negative about it. But
Right, but
there's there's humanity even in the cruelest uh, in the cruelest people.
yeah, yeah, I
There
agree with that.
there's something in us that wants the human species to carry on. So we are capable of supporting one another even if we've spent our lives tearing each other down.
Right. And I would say the same with this show as well. I think my closing thought for Takopi original scene would be it's a show that celebrate the worst and best of humanity.
Hmm. The best of humanity is there? Yeah, Junya, I think.
Mm.
Azuma's brother. I guess he would represent the best of humanity in this show. I mean, I think that's my pick for episode of the year. Is episode 4, the
All right.
Azuma episode of Takopi.
Mm. Wow. All right. Do you have any other comment on our top tens or
Oh yeah,
uh
Leviathan.
Leviathan?
Left it
Yep.
ambiguous. Yeah, I finished it. I was not into it.
Right. Too
I
bad.
mean, like you said, some parts of it just were not. Alec is the guy's name. His story was just not
I like.
that
Yep.
interesting to me. I think that as soon as Nikolai Tesla was introduced as the antagonist, I think not only the characters but the story itself started to kind of unravel, and I was like, "What
Right.
is this?"
Mm.
They had to condense 3 novels, like you said, into one story.
Yep.
So I'm
Yep.
just not a fan of Studio Orange's output. It seems I don't think any of their shows have ever made my top 10. Whereas in your
For
case, Land of the
it.
Lustrous did, Beastars did, this show did, just
Mm,
not Trigun.
mm, yeah, not only they make our top 10, Land of Lurchers is my number one of that year. Pista is my number one of the 2019.
Right.
And this one just barely made it, so yeah.
Yeah, we just are different in that regard.
Right. All
That's a
right.
trend.
L-
Speaking of trends, you putting
Let
orange anime in the top 10. But enough about
Yep.
2025. How about
Hold on.
2026? What's coming up?
Before we go in that, I gonna check your predicted top 10
Oh,
of
right.
mine.
Yeah.
See how it goes. So you got City the Animation as my number one. How many shows that you did correctly guess? One, two,
Not a
three,
lot.
four, five, six. Six of them,
Yeah.
which is actually a good number.
Well, it's lower than I would like. You surprised
Okay.
me with what was the biggest? I mean, Leviathan, I guess, would be a
Kowloon?
pretty big surprise, even though I know you
Yeah.
like anime from that studio. Kowloon, the biggest surprise for sure.
And
And
City
Hanashura, I did not
yeah.
expect.
And City the Animation is number eight.
Yeah. And then Zenshuu as well. I kind of like the Zenshuu pick though.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
You just mentioned about what 2026 gonna offer us. Let me say outright that I have a look at the movies that could be in 2026, and I couldn't find anything.
Dude, really?
I I did find two films, two movies that I gonna put it there, and one from 2025, but gonna be available in 2026 that I want to check out.
Okay.
All right. I gonna say my P first then. The two movies that I kind of looking forward to for this year 2026 is the Madoka,
Hmm.
which I think they have like the release date already.
Yeah, I think
So
it's
it's got
February, if I'm
yeah.
not
So it's
mistaken.
gonna come very soon. And the other one is Paris Nisaku Etole.
Hmm.
I just gotta write it down.
Yes.
Be- The the art look actually pretty good.
Yeah. That's directed by Goro Taniguchi. Um, he's the Planetes Code Geass
I see. Yeah.
director.
Right.
Yeah, I have to imagine the staff for that movie is off the charts because it does look, yeah, it's Ghibli-esque, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So I and the one movie is that already released somewhere um in some place this year, but we haven't get a chance to watch it. Is Tamala 2030, a punk cat in dark.
Interesting. I thought
Right.
you were going to
Yes.
say Holsenka, The Last
No.
Blossom.
No. I'm looking forward to this one more.
Yeah, I'm
I
also looking forward to it. Yeah, I liked Tamala 2010. It was very
Yeah.
weird, but I ended up enjoying it.
Yeah. I don't think Tamala 2030 is it 2030. The
Yeah.
original one make a lot of sense. I
2010
don't
is the
even
original,
remember.
2030 is the new one.
All right, 2010. Yeah, I don't think it's make a lot of sense. I don't even remember the plot of that one now.
Neither do I. I remember the presentation more than the story.
Yeah, 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 me too. And I'm looking forward for this one to be something like that.
So are you not interested in the film from the Odd Taxi director, Holsenka?
I yeah, I think I will be, but I'm still consider it more of that 2025
Yeah.
ones
Yeah.
compared to 2026, like the one that got released in the theater.
Okay. So those are the films. Do you have any series that you're looking forward to?
Right, you want to review your film first, or do you want me
Sure.
to go through?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can go back and forth. I'll do my films. So, in addition to some of the ones that we just mentioned, I've got three. They are Daisy's Life, which is the new Yuasa film coming next year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Right.
I don't know anything
Hmm.
about it, but I know that it's due out in 2026. Of course, it could be delayed.
Yeah.
I went back and listened to our previous podcast, and some of the stuff that we listed as anticipated for 2025 did not come out.
Yeah. Right.
For example, let's see, the Madoka movie, I guess, Witch Hat
Yeah.
Atelier,
Yeah.
Skip and Loafer season two, Dorohedoro season two, etc.
Right.
So yeah, we could be off the mark here, but I'm pretty sure Daisy's Life is set for 2026. New Yuasa. There's a musical film which I think is already out, but it will get subbed in 2026 or released online.
Right.
It's called Tori Tsukare Otoko. It is
Oh.
a musical romance with character designs from the guy who illustrated Windy Tales, if you remember that
Right. Yeah.
2004 anime. Um, so that is something I'm very much looking forward to. I like his work as a character designer, even though
Hmm.
maybe some other people don't because they're looks a little strange or off-putting. Um,
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see that film. In addition, there is a Studio 4C film called Chow,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
looks to have a plot similar to Yuasa's Lu Over the Wall about
Hmm.
humanity and sea life, like anthropomorphized sea life coexisting. Looking
Right.
forward to that. The trailer has like an abundance of cool animation and design work. So those are the movies I'm most looking forward to for next
There's
year.
one. The one movie that I forgot to mention is Chung World. That is the sequel from Chunghead.
Oh yes, yes, Junk World for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
That's been like a festival film I think this year, and perhaps it will be
Right.
available more widely in 2026. I'm
Yeah.
also looking forward to that. Yep.
All right. Looking of series, there are a bunch of series from Bones. So we mentioned one that is penned by Hiromu Arakawa, Demon of the Shadow Realm,
Hmm.
and then Marriage Toxins.
Yeah, those are both Bone series. Have you noticed they've like rebranded to Bones Film?
I
What
do
is
as
the deal
well.
with
I
that?
doesn't sound good to me, but when they do something like that, I think they try to branch out, you know. So there's like one division that focus on anime, and maybe there's one division that focus more on like pretentious stuff. That's what I'm afraid.
Huh.
But there's no way to tell though.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll find out this year. Next
Right,
year, I should say. No, this year. It is. It is 2026 right now.
right.
How about any shows from other studios?
There are some couple sequels that I'm looking forward to, like Firenze,
Hmm.
which is I think my most anticipated show. The third season of the Apothecary Diaries,
Yep.
and the final season, part two of Beastars. So it's
Right.
finally done. I hope. It's gonna be come out. I think it's a month or two. So I gotta get a chance to finish that.
Okay.
That's for the sequels.
Oh, this is for the sequels.
Right.
Okay. Do I have? Let's see. Do I have any sequels? Yes, I do have one. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Steel Ball Run.
Right.
Steel Ball Run was like kind of a reset for JoJo. It takes place in another universe or
Hmm.
another timeline or whatever you want to call it. Um, so I'm looking forward to that because I fell off the JoJo wagon a while ago. But Steel Ball Run being a
Right.
bit of a reset
Yeah.
and also
Yeah.
being like the most acclaimed, I guess, part, like the most acclaimed saga in the manga, has me interested
Hmm.
in trying it again.
How long was that manga release?
Do you mean Steel Ball Run in particular?
No, no, no. Yeah, yeah. Still Run in particular.
I believe it was from, I could be wrong about this, but I think it was from 2006 to 2011.
Right. Wow.
And the reboot of the JoJo anime started in 2012. So that
Yeah.
means that for as long as it has been running, people have been waiting for Steel Ball Run, which had just
Right.
finished at that time.
Wow. Very
And
interesting.
now it's happening.
Yeah. As for this particular season, I'm looking forward to Journey with Witch
Hmm.
and the new show, which I'm looking at the name now, from the writer of Boys Over Flowers.
Prism
So
Rondo.
yeah, that one. Yeah.
I think it has a different Japanese title, maybe, but or maybe it's the same. Yeah, Prism Rondo. I don't. I'm kind of scared to put any of my eggs into that show's basket because
Hmm.
Hanayori Dango, Boys Over Flowers, is it's a bit of a mess in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna try it out. This new series.
Right. Uh, and finally, I think the original show that I'm looking forward to the most is the one from the new version from Takakoshi Shimura's adaptation. It's Awajima
Hmm.
Hiyake.
Yeah.
And then we mentioned about Witch Hat Ateliers. Also, there's a new show from Sansaru, Tamaku no Chatuga.
Yes. Yeah, I'm interested in that for sure. Oh, the English title I think is, well, I don't know if it has an official one. I've seen different translations of it, but I'm going with A Witch's Life in Mongol
Right.
because it's
Hmm.
set in the Mongolian like palace in the 13th century, which is
Hmm.
very cool. Have you seen the trailer for it?
No, I haven't seen the trailer for that.
Oh, it looks so good, man.
Right.
It's you know what it reminds me of in terms of aesthetic is Osama ranking.
All right. Wow.
It doesn't have
Hmm.
the same kind of character designs, but it has the same kind of soft picture book kind of style to it,
Hmm.
um, which I think is great. I love that style. So
Wow.
looking forward to that one a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. I heard that Seru also released God in the Shell, which might be released in 2026.
Yes.
But apart from that, nothing confirmed yet, I think.
Yeah, I don't. I think it's going to be 2026, but you never know for sure. They are doing the
Yeah.
Ghost in the Shell reboot though.
Yeah.
That's exciting. What
All,
else you got?
all right.
Anything?
Now, lastly, I just want to mention that for the sequels, there is a final season, hopefully for Oshinoko. and the final season for Golden Kamuy. So I want
Right.
to just say that.
Yeah, and those are both happening this season.
Right, that's correct.
All right, I have a few picks as well.
That's it. Yep, go
So
for it.
not including any of the series that we've mentioned so far, or any of the ones we mentioned last year. I've
Right.
got some others. So one of them is Akane Banashi, which is an adaptation of a Shonen Jump manga about Rakugo.
Mm.
So it's not a battle shonen. It's a show about Rakugo with a female protagonist that runs in Shonen Jump. I don't know anything about it, but I think that's I'm quite interested.
Right.
So for a series like that to be running in a like a combat action focused magazine means that it must have really captured its audience. So looking forward to that adaptation.
Mm.
Um, there is a show called Kore Kaite Shine. It is an adaptation of a manga about a girl learning to draw manga, and
Mm.
the its source material has received some awards here and there. Um, I don't know much about the director or the studio. I just know
Mm.
that it's a show that some people are looking forward to based on the strength of the original work. And I'm interested in, like anime about anime, manga about manga. So
Mm.
we'll see if that one pans out. There's a Kyoto animation show that is coming out next year, Niju Seiki Denki Mokuroku, which translates to 20th Century Electric Catalog. Um, there was a PV for this show, or like maybe a commercial for Kyoto Animation in general, that used the setting and characters from this work that released a
Right.
long time ago, like before the arson that happened earlier this
Yeah.
decade.
Mm.
Um, and there were already plans to adapt it at that point, but now they're finally coming to fruition. Interested to see what they make of that series because the style seems to have changed from that original PV or commercial to now.
Mm. Right.
Um, there's going to be a new Pat Labor or Pat Labor series, Pat Labor
Oh.
EZY, um, that's been in production for a long time, and I think this is the year that it comes out. I don't know whether it'll be any good, but
Mm.
I'm going to try it out.
Right.
There is an adaptation of a video game called Sekiro, which is by what is the name of that studio? I'm not a gamer at all, so I can't
Oh,
remember.
cyber game something.
I'm not talking about the anime studio. I'm talking about the studio that
Ah.
published the game Sekiro. They're
All
famous for making very difficult action RPGs. Anyway, Sekiro, it's called Sekiro No Defeat, and the art style in the trailer, which premiered at the Game Awards, like the big video game industry award show, was very cool. Really liked the sort of, I don't know, brushstroke kind of action that they went for in terms of visual style. So I'm looking forward to that.
right. Mm-hmm.
And lastly, there is a Chinese anime called Jiyi Guanli Ju that I've seen the PV for, and it looks tremendous. It's by an indie studio in China called Flint Sugar, and it reminds me most of FLCL, Furikuri,
Mm.
in its style. So I I think it was supposed to come out last year and it didn't, but hopefully
Right.
this is the year. It looks cool, and that's pretty much all I know about it. But I'm rooting for this little studio in China. Hopefully they can make it like a big impact and change some people's perceptions of Chinese animation. Those are my picks.
All right. All good picks, and hopefully, 2026 is even a better year of anime than the last year, 2025.
Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna make a bold prediction. I think this is gonna be the best year since 2021.
Okay.
That's my feeling. There's a lot of stuff that I'm looking forward to, and I say that every year, but
Yeah.
I have a feeling. So I'm gonna put it in ink.
Okay. We everyone record this. and we
Yeah,
see like what this time next year gonna be like. What he gonna say? What people gonna say?
yeah. When you ask me, so how was 2026 in anime? Am I just gonna say,
Uh,
well, I don't know. It was okay. My top 10 is fine, I guess. We'll see.
all right, I think that's it for this podcast. If any of those shows that we mentioned you haven't checked it out, just please do so because I think at least they are worth checking out for the for how many episodes that you want to check out. I myself gonna just catching up from the Karaoke Iko. That sounds awesome, and watching more of Gnosia as well.
Yeah, I really enjoyed those two shows. I will probably, let's see. Is there anything? Which of your picks did I not watch all the way to the end? City
Flower,
and
Flower and Asura.
yeah, Hanashura. Someday I will finish Hanashura, I'm sure. And City, I remember when I was catching up on Nichijou, I took it extremely slowly so I wouldn't burn out on it. So maybe City get the same treatment. Certainly an
Yep,
amazing looking series.
yep. All right, so that's it for us for now. We see you in the next few weeks for the first impression of the
Winter.
spring one, the winter one. Sorry.
Easy to get your seasons mixed up when we're in two different hemispheres.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we'll be back. I guess we will see you then. Thanks for listening.
All right, see ya.
Bye bye.